They care about hues, hitting their eyes, not about who's coding their stuff. So with that in mind, ID cards. I want you guys to have ID cards every powder coating shop so that you can represent yourself in a unified way. Every customer of yours and others, anyways, people who want to have stuff powder coated, we call them customers. They're the customers in this context. And shop owners are shops or coding locations or Iron Rainbow coding partners. We have service partners, we have coding partners. Anyways, so you guys, coding partners, you can specify your own prices. And that means that, let's say you code a bicycle frame with a handlebar, the same color for $300 and for a different color, whatever, $300. It's Design Rainbow. So you code that together, it's $300. But let's say it doesn't really apply in the case of bicycle frames because all of our partners can code bicycles, bicycle parts. Yeah. Because that doesn't require special equipment and knowledge. But in the case of rims, not all of you guys weld rims, for example. We don't have this as a criteria that you have to be welding rims and straightening them. But if you don't offer it and someone within your territory orders a rim with repairs, then they will be directed to the nearest neighbor who has that service, who offers rim repair, rim welding, straightening, whatever, diamond cutting if they want diamond cutting and you don't offer diamond cutting. Yeah, what I allow for these services to be not offered or not to be offered? That's the question, right? Whether I mandate everyone to get a certain set of skills and equipment. I don't know, down the line when I automate all of it and using or thanks to or whatever economies of scale or loving economies of scale, I bring the price down so much that it wouldn't really make sense to have it sent to your neighbor and rather you would make the profit on it. But the question this raises is, let's say you code a set of rims for $600 and they want services that you don't offer relating to rims, so they get sent to a neighboring region, territory, and they offer the same paint job for $700. Because I don't want to limit you guys in the prices because that wouldn't make sense then. Because I don't know. This is a tough question. I'm really open and hoping for discussion, and I will take Iron Rainbow in a direction similar. If you're familiar with cryptos, the distributed nature of decision making, I really like that because that's how it should work. It's a combined endeavor, like not an institution, but like a company with a company. Yeah, we accompany each other. I don't know how to express it, but yeah, whatever. So everyone's decisions should matter, and when you run a LLC or a C Corp or whatever, you decide, you get to decide, and that's not always good. It's sometimes good because there's a reason why you're running that company. Maybe you know more about the topics than your customers, but still, I like the idea of, yeah, DAOs. If you're familiar with crypto, but I'm going to stop with the crypto talk and focus on this. But I have to deliberate on these, or deliberate these? I don't know. Yeah, so what do we do? So represent, yeah, cause, okay, so what do you have on the ID cards? Because if I say that you don't have rim specialty services, then the customer will be like, oh shit, well, I'll just click somewhere else. And they click on someone else in the city, but if that person is out of that territory, they will only be sent there if they do require a service. Maybe even a part that's bigger, that's also the same case. If a part is bigger than the maximum that you can code or handle, let's say they want to have something coded that weighs 3 tons and your conveyor system is only certified for 2, whatever, then they will be directed somewhere else. And so the conundrum is this: if I show them that they have to input their zip codes in order to see who their designated coding facility is, which one of you run it. Then they put their zip in and see, okay, this max part, if I show it on the ID cards, their max part is smaller than the part I want coded. So what do? They will click through the coding locations in that city and choose a different one that has the max part size. But if they don't, they just scroll down to the customizer and choose something or input a custom. They either choose something that is outside of your scope, or they upload a custom part and specify parameters there that will put it outside of your area of expertise or whatever, so that you can't code it. Yeah, it's interesting. Do I put it on the cards? Do I put these stats on the cards, or do I not? And I went back to the basics. Why do I even want these cards? And I listed some reasons. Customers outside, so our customers are you guys, and your customers are those who want to code. So customers outside of Iron Rainbow. Presenting, yeah, badge of honor, yeah. If you're highly qualified and you got your stats maxed out on a Rainbow ID card, then that shows competence. Tell them their order will be submitted to the shop most qualified. Yeah, this is, we tell your customers. So our customers. That's quite those customers squared, right? Oh. Yeah. So all of you can code rims. Not everyone can repair. What do? Do we mandate repair? I don't know. Repair jobs get sent elsewhere. Yeah, if they type in a zip to get to see the price set for them by their shop, so their zip decide which their shop is or which one their shop is. But they select rim services, then the config will direct their order to the nearest rim service location, which can have different prices. So what do? Do I tell the customer, like, dude, you just clicked a service that is not supported by your designated coding location or coding facility, so you have to pay more and have to take it further physically? That's, I don't know, that's not too compelling of an option. So I'm pondering on these, like, yeah, which one? Solutions: unified rim restoration prices or unified rim prices. Okay, so I could say in this city, that's the max rim cost that we accept on our platform. Everyone max it out, but someone doesn't max it out, so that will cause migration, zip migration. That people will be lying about their zip codes to get cheaper codes. Yeah, that's one thing. Unified, yeah. Who comes up with it? I don't know. I don't want to come up with it. I don't want to have to specify how much something costs. And I don't know. To be honest, I don't like this option. I just had to list it out because that's how it goes. You list out even shitty options. Who knows? It gets your brain thinking. We advise local locations, as in locations within certain reach of one another. Local locations to either not compete or not to compete aggressively on price. Interesting. And then I just came up with, like, C-Rock, the C-Rock 180, man. That's it, the C-Rock 180. It's that I built for a show, I think 5 years ago, something like that. 5 years ago, yeah. And I just started selling it then and there, but I wanted to build out everything else. So when I release Iron Rainbow, it's gonna hit the spot. Yeah, but release the C-Rock 180 just as a really entry-level Iron Rainbow experience for shops. 20 cartridges, yeah, this is also interesting. So that's on the rim coding side. It's partially business and also a user experience question. How does the user feel when they, like, we have to make it seamless. So we take it as a given that not all of you do rim services, because if all of you do it, then it doesn't really exist as a question for the rims. For the heavy and oversized parts, or like oversized parts in multiple metrics, it also poses the same question of how do we let the customer know that they will be designated to a different store, or do they even care? The basic premise is that they don't care who codes it. That's why IM Rainbow went the way it went, and that's why it brought me here to this business model, because customers truly do not care who codes their parts. Yeah, just the end result. Machines are to serve an end, are means to an end, and so are services that don't necessitate human interaction, and powder coating certainly doesn't. Like if you go to a masseuse and they massage you, there's a human connection that can't really be negated. Same with the hairdresser, nail salonist, but with powder coating, it's an intimate relationship between the metal and the coater. And nobody gives a fuck about that, man. Nobody cares about that. They care about hues hitting their eyes, not about who's coating their stuff. So with that in mind, I don't think they really care about which one of you guys does the job. They want the most fluid experience, the most frictionless. They just want to take it in or have it picked up and then go fetch it when it's done. And my job is to, and your job when you get the part, but my job before you get the part, to facilitate that the best I can. And that's what I have to say here and think about minute details like that. Could even say edge cases, but not really, because it's designed to be suitable for all powder coating needs, and you can't have edge cases because all powder coating needs includes edge cases. So these, I can't call these edge cases anyways. So yeah, that's one thing. And I start outside here. Okay, that's a little bit being sidetracked in my mind. I just came up with that while writing, like, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna release that. And Zips that have powder coating stores in them have first dibs on their code for 1 year after the first location opens in their city. So that means that I'm here in this zip code. I have a powder coating store, powder coating facility, powder coating shop. And how's your life better? Like that? Or like that? Or it doesn't matter? You don't care? You just want to hear it? Alright. Anyways, so there's a powder coating shop here, and there's a powder coating shop in a neighboring zip code that gets IM Rainbow partnership. But I can't let them purchase rights for a zip code that has a shop in it already. So, but what if they can't purchase zip? You see, these are the things you have to think about. If you come up with rules for your game, which you have to, because otherwise it's going to be messy, hard to track, hard to calculate anything. So when you start coming up with rules, you will come up with a lot of exceptions that make it harder for your rule to be universal, and you have to polish your rules, polish your business practices to a point where it serves in more cases than it doesn't. So let's say, I don't know in the case of zip codes, but the problem here could be that there's a powder coating store and it has 6 neighboring zip codes, and 5 of them also have shops in them. So what can he do? He can only travel, like on a board game, he can only travel in one direction. I should just do whiteboard videos now, show you guys like what I mean, and then travel that way. Or skip the zip codes that have stores in them and have random zip codes in the city, but that invalidates the whole purpose of striving for less entropy, and that means that the customer, that optimizing the system so that the customer has to travel the least distance to get the same quality of service. So how do you do it? Do I let you guys purchase territories that physically have other powder coating shops in them? Probably the answer is yes. Probably right now. That's a hunch, but I don't know. I don't know, and I feel like I have to cycle these options. Like, maybe, I don't know. And I just sit there. It's easier for me to write it out on paper. It takes longer to write it out on paper, and I get to think while doing it and come up with other ideas on the computer. Working on the computer for me is more deliberate, more like there's a body of work that needs doing, and I undertake that. But on the paper it's like I'm not sure of the end result. Let's explore. So that's what I'm doing, exploring.